Welcome back to my channel. Today is January 4th, 2024, and in the last few days, a lot of people, including myself, have been posting their 2023 recap videos. Now, on my channel, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of long form content, but on Instagram, TikTok, and even on YouTube Shorts, I've been posting every single day since August 15th of 2023. So if you don't know who I am already, my name is Granitto. I am an automotive photographer, and I've been posting my POV content again, like I said, since August 15th of 2023. Now, the purpose of this video is to provide you some insight as to what I have learned, but it's also to help me, future me, be able to look back and see how well I have done in 2024. Because the goals that I have created for myself are very big and honestly very scary. But I think that that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to grow, push myself to grow, and actually get to where I want to be. There won't be anything super special about this video. It's just gonna be me talking to you one-on-one. August 15th, 2023 was when I posted my first reel that was going to subsequently be every single day that I was going to post on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. On Instagram, I started with 390 followers, and by the end of the year, I have achieved 31,000 plus. Right now, I sit at 32,400, and so that's about an 8,200% increase. That's a very big number, and it is a lot of people to start following my content, and it is due in part to a lot of videos being posted out there every single day, my photo carousels, that I post every single day as well. So I'm doing 2 posts per day on Instagram. I did have a couple videos really take off and help me get that following, but there's one in particular that catapulted me essentially into more people's feeds and have gained me a lot more of a community than any other video combined. That one video has gained me over 20,000 followers and counting. And so a lot of my success is due to that one video. Now, I'm not here to talk about like what has gone well, because I know what has gone well. And I know that I do enjoy this process. What I am here to talk about is the things that I've learned in 2023 and the things that I wish I've done differently. And then that way, maybe this will help you if you're starting off in a similar journey. And then this will also help future me understand where I came from. Make sure I fix those mistakes and improve. This video is gonna get a little bit personal because in 2023, it was a very crazy year for myself, personally, professionally, and even creatively. I am gonna go through all those things because I think everything is important to talk about. And I think it's important for people to understand that just because what I post on social media looks all fun and games, there is a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that you never get to see. That's the same for every single person who has ever posted to social media. You get a highlight reel of what's going on in their lives. You don't get to see the struggles that they have to deal with every single day. Now, I'm not trying to make this, a whole sappy video because 2023 was a great year. A lot of growth has occurred in 2023. I think that's what's the most important thing to take away from this. Despite all the challenges that me and even my wife have faced in 2023, we both made out better than we were at the beginning of 2023. And at the end of the day, that's all we care about. We care about improving ourselves each and every single day and doing the best that we can. Because life is not very easy. It is very stressful, it is very difficult, and I don't need to be the one that tells you that. You should already know that it's very difficult. Beginning of 2023 was pretty calm for the most part, but then a couple months in, my wife, Jackie, her family had some health complications that caused us to go to and from hospitals and visit them very often early on in the year. That was a very stressful time of the year because there was a major surgery involved, and again, multiple trips to the hospital involved. And luckily, everybody got out safe and alive and is healthy now. So for those few months, it was very difficult to focus on anything. My wife is a registered nurse, and she had started a job here at a local hospital. And before that, she was a contractor at the same hospital. And then even before that, she was a contractor in another state for a temporary amount of time. When she started this new position, it was to get out of the ICU into something a little bit more comfortable, a little bit less stress. What we had found out late in 2022 was that she had gotten a sickness during her time in North Carolina when she was on a contract gig and it required her to take medications for 6 months. These medications had a big side effect that made her fatigued all the time. It was difficult for her to do anything more than sleep and go to work. Now, we own a home that we have lived in for almost 3 years now. We have 2 pets, we have responsibilities, we have chores, we have to do things. I still have a 9-to-5 job, just like she does. And all this time that she's having to take this medication, she's not really able to do a whole lot for herself even. And so during that time, I was doing all the housework, I was taking care of the pets, I was taking care of the yard work. We started the process of building a brand new garage. There was a whole lot of things to juggle on top of having a job. And that forced me to grow a lot as an individual. Now, that medication regimen had ended around June. So after we get through all of the family health complications and she's getting used to her new job, it finally started to wind down. And just a couple months later, I started my photography journey with my new camera, which is what I'm filming on right now. During this time, there's starting to become some uncertainty in my professional world. So at my job that I currently have, I was feeling this thought in the back of my head that something was going to go wrong sooner or later. And I felt a similar feeling back during the pandemic because I was working at a job that I enjoyed for 5 years, and then out of nowhere, I was laid off. I was unemployed for the very first time in my entire life. I had to navigate new experiences, and I had to go take on a part-time warehouse job just to keep myself busy and all that. So I've had this feeling in the back of my head about what was going on with my job. And at the same time, I made a very heavy investment into this camera because I've been doing photography for 6 years, and I felt that it was time for me to invest in myself and take a chance on myself in photography. Multiple weeks went by where I was constantly beating myself up. I had this internal battle about, like, this is not a good investment. I shouldn't be spending this money on this. Like, we just got a contract signed for a new garage to be built. Maybe we should focus on that. My wife and I are very financially conscious, and so we look at everything through a microscope when it comes to money. After battling with that thought over and over in my head, I had a few conversations with my wife about it because I thoroughly appreciate her input. And she never said anything like, oh, don't do it, it's too much money, or oh, don't do it, it's a waste of money, whatever. She was always very supportive in saying, do it. Like, if you feel like this is a good thing to do, go and do it. And I'll be here. I'll 100% support you. That's one of the things I really do appreciate about her as a partner is she may question things, but she'll never sit there and say, no, don't do this because I think it's dumb. She'd rather understand what is the motive that I'm going with and how I feel about the whole situation. I purchased this in August of 23, and that's when I started the photography journey. Shortly after that, my wife and I found out that we are pregnant with our first child. This was very exciting at first until the nausea set in. I'm sure you've heard of what morning sickness is, and you've seen it portrayed on TV, on movies. Maybe you've experienced it yourself if you have your own kids. But my wife had it a lot worse. She was experiencing what was called hyperemesis gravidarum, and hyperemesis gravidarum is Latin. It just really means that she has constant nausea all the time. So it wasn't just the mornings, it was all day, every single day, and she couldn't eat, she couldn't drink, she couldn't just keep anything down. We tried so many different home remedies. We tried, plain palate foods. We tried medications that her physician gave her, and she was early on in her pregnancy, so there were some things that she couldn't take. We got to the point where we did have to take her to the emergency room because she wasn't able to keep fluids down long enough to keep herself hydrated and keep the baby healthy. During this time, I'm posting every single day on social media, my photography, my videos. I'm still going out and I'm doing shoots. I'm working my job. I'm taking care of the house. I'm taking care of the pets again. I'm taking care of the yard work. Essentially like what I was doing earlier on in the year, but now my wife is very sick and she couldn't work. So she was on leave and she was basically bedridden the entire time because light and sound would make her nauseous. we didn't have a lot of food in the house because it was really just me eating. She wasn't eating a whole lot. She lost a lot of weight and she just felt miserable all the time. And while this is going on, I'm still doing everything else that I can, and I'm still doing the best that I can to take care of her. And it was the very first time in almost 5 years of being together that I felt powerless, that I couldn't help her. We've been together for almost 5 years, and we've almost been married for 2 years. We've gone through the pandemic. We've gone through having a puppy together. We've gone through buying a house together. We've gone through so many different things together, and we've always had each other's backs. We've always protected one another. This was the very first time ever that I felt like I couldn't help her, and it hurt me mentally. Like, it just completely drained me. Physically, I was tired. Mentally, I was tired. Like, physically is fine. Like, I can recover. I can just sleep. I can get some rest. But mentally, it was very hard for me to get through that. I'm still pursuing this goal I have with my social media. And all the while, she's still rooting for me. She's still telling me, like, don't worry about me. Go out, do the thing. You know, pretty much go kick ass. Like, go do what you got to do. I'll be here. It was a very tough time. And come October, leading up to my 30th birthday, I felt very stressed about my professional life, and I felt very insecure at my job. And a week before my 30th birthday came around, I logged on, everything was normal, and then I got a message from our chief at the time that I was reporting to, and he wanted me to join a Zoom call. So when I joined that Zoom call, it was me and one of my coworkers, and then it was him and my boss standing behind him. And he was letting me know that our team was let go. It wasn't me and the coworker in our Zoom call, it was everybody else. So 99% of my team was completely let go, including our manager, and it was just me and one coworker left. I've been on the other end during the pandemic when I got let go. It was just a simple Zoom call with an HR rep, and thousands of us got laid off at once. It was not a fun time. I've never thought in my entire life I would experience both sides. I would be lying if I didn't say that I got a little bit emotional in the call, because at this point we were telling people that we were expecting a child. That meant my coworkers, my manager, the rest of my family. And I told my chief that I was emotional because we were just talking to people about how we're expecting our first child, and how my wife hasn't been working the last couple months because of how sick she's been. You know, the bills, the medication, all that stuff was very expensive. One of us losing our job is okay because we always bounce back, but both of us losing our jobs at the same time, we have safeguards in place to protect us, but that still doesn't mean that we want it to happen. During my birthday, I took some time off that was already planned, and I started doing more content. Like, I started shooting more because coming up to winter, there was the chance I wasn't gonna have as many photo shoots. So I just focused. Because of this experience, I definitely cannot trust anybody else when it comes to my livelihood. Since I was in high school, I've always wanted to work for myself, and I never identified what it was that I wanted to do. And at this point, because my social media had been growing, because I have such a big passion for photography, and I do enjoy the process every single day, this felt like maybe is that business. Maybe this is where I finally start working towards that goal to be my own boss in this realm. Not starting some business, not owning a restaurant or a bar or something else like this. Like, my photography, my personal brand is what I should be focusing on. I took some time to spend with family, enjoy my birthday, because it was my 30th birthday. And I think it would have sucked really bad if I got laid off right before my 30th birthday. You know, it's a milestone birthday. You kind of, you want it to be good. It was also around that time where I felt like my social media wasn't going anywhere. I had gained about 4,000 followers at this point, which anybody would tell you, like, that's a great amount of number. To me, the follower number is great. It doesn't mean anything though if you can't turn it around and turn it into something like a community. The community of the following is what matters most, because those are the people that engage with you the most. And I felt like my videos weren't really getting put out there, my posts weren't doing very well, and I started feeling down on myself about everything. And then it all changed. On my birthday, I woke up to 5,200 followers, which was way more than I thought I was gonna have on my birthday. And then a few days later, I hit 10,000 followers, and the rest is history. Now I'm at 32,500 followers. I did kind of lay a lot on you about my personal and professional life, but I do want to emphasize that this isn't supposed to be a, I feel bad for you kind of video. This is supposed to be, I am just like anybody else out there. Like here on YouTube, I don't have a massive following at all. On Instagram, you can ask anybody, they would think that 32,000 people is a lot. It is a lot. If 32,000 people walked up to me tomorrow to talk to me about my photography, I would absolutely crap my pants. I have no idea what I would do. But I'm no different. I have my own struggles. I have the own crap that I have to deal with. I have my own stresses, and I just want to put this out there as my own personal journal, because in the future, when I come back and I watch this, I'm going to think to myself, that was a lot of character building that I had to go through. It was a lot of hard stuff that I had to go through. But at the end of the year, we did very well for ourselves. We endured, we pushed through it all, we came out on top, better than we were at the beginning of the year, despite all the challenges. Now, I do want to talk about the things I wish I did better in 2023 for my creative content, and then I'm going to talk about what my goals are for 2024. So if you stuck around this long, thank you. Sorry about all the soap opera stuff. If you yourself are looking at something like what I'm doing, if you want to post every single day on social media, or you want to grow some sort of following, maybe you can learn from my mistakes early on and you can grow a little bit faster than I did. There's not a lot of science to this. It's just me observing what I've done and what I think I could do better. I'm definitely not going to touch base on every single thing because I don't know every single thing off the top of my head. In 2023, I started pretty late in the season, in car season. I got my camera mid-August, and then I started posting every single day. I didn't go to any cars and coffee events during the month of August because we had a lot of other things going on at the time. So it was very difficult for me to get out there and get started. So I think the slow start to the year really put me at a disadvantage because I had this idea of backlogging as much content as I could for slower periods of the year, just like now, because we're in the middle of winter, holidays just came and gone, and I haven't been on a photo shoot in a long time. So I've been having to rely on whatever it is I had that I have not posted yet. And I've actually even reposted some content that was old content. I did go through and actually re-edit it in the current style that I edit in. And I've even re-edited some old photos. So it wasn't just here, post the exact same thing, no one's ever gonna know. Like, people would know and would notice eventually. But every time you post something to social media, not every single one of your followers sees it. I still wasn't gonna do that. I still wanted to revamp what it is I have. Like, oh wow, this is like a lot of dead space. Let's shrink that. My captions are different now. My graphics are different now. And then my editing style for my photos is still relatively the same, but there was at least one set of photos that I tweaked and made better. And that is still stuff that I have to do now because I don't have any backlog content. Like, I just did a shoot the other day and I got 4 days of content out of it, but now I have to repost old content again, or I have to drum up some new content. That makes it very stressful. And I think that if you're looking to do something like this, you want to shoot as much as you can in a short period of time to carry you through any sort of lull period that you might experience. And I don't know, you might be shooting content like this, where all you have to do is sit in front of a camera and talk to it. That might be easier. I have no idea. I also feel like I didn't do enough batch editing. Batch editing is exactly what it sounds like. I just sit down one day out of the week and I edit as many videos and photos as I can. Now, I've done that a few times, especially during the holidays. I batch edited for Thanksgiving, and then I did a little bit of batch editing for Christmas, and it just saved me so much time. Editing one video and one carousel every single day after work gets tiring because there's other things I have to do, chores, spend time with my pets, spend time with my wife. You know, there's so many different things that I have to do, and I just don't want to take all of my free time to editing. So what I want to do more of is, my photo shoots are typically on the weekends. If I go out and I shoot all day on Saturday, if it's 1 shoot or 2 shoots, maybe 3 if I'm advantageous enough, I want to spend all day Sunday editing. And if I at least get all of the week done, so from Monday through Saturday, that's all I care about. And then I just repeat the process every single weekend. Because in that way during the week, I can just focus on making the posts. I can focus on planning the next weekend while I'm, doing my regular job, taking care of the house, taking care of my family, all those things. And even doing the things that I want to do. So I wish I did that more, because the times I did do it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend doing that for anybody else who's trying to do something like this. I wish I pushed myself harder as the span of time between photo shoots got larger. I didn't do enough photo shoots, which led to me not having enough content backlog, which then led me to not having enough content to publish, to keep my challenge going. And so that's just poor planning on my side. Now, I can come up with any excuse I want, saying, oh, it's the holidays, or oh, I had this going on that day, or oh, nobody wants to do a photo shoot. It's just excuses. Like, I didn't do enough. I didn't push enough. This is something that I enjoy doing, so why not push to do it? There's other small things that I could improve on, like my editing style, the commentary I do, because I'm not very much of an educator. I'm not very good with scripts, so I don't have a lot of value that I could put in the videos. I need to be able to put more value in there for it to be able to reach more people. My content really falls under the kind of like inspirational or entertainment sections, not the educational side. But the educational side is really powerful because then I'm able to help somebody else get started in this world, So now I want to talk about 2024. I wrote these goals down back in October of 2023. October was a pretty rough month, with personal, professional, and creative lives all pretty much suffering at the same exact time. I want to talk through what the goals are, and I also want to talk through how I'm going to achieve those goals. Again, these are very big, scary goals. I may not achieve all of them this year, and I'm completely okay with that. But if I don't make big goals, then I'm not gonna push myself hard enough. Or if I achieve any of these goals early on in the year, like say halfway through the year, then I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm done. I don't need to do any more. Now, I make goals to where I'm gonna have to force myself to go all the way throughout the entire year. There is one other thing that I did add to this list a little bit late, but it's just because it's something that's new that popped up. Now, I do want to give credit where credit is deserved. I got this template from a creator called Life Through Optics on Instagram. Life Through Optics is the person that inspired me to do the POV content in the first place, so I want to give credit where it's deserved. I loved his template of how he broke down his goals and how he says, I'm going to accomplish these goals. It's very simple, straightforward. I think anybody can easily agree with that. But it's really nice to see that someone at that level of success has a very simple way of writing out their goals. Now, I did add a little bit to it for myself, and I'll get to that as well. But my giant goals for the next 12 months, in the year of 2024, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Right now, I think I said at like 541 subscribers at the time I'm filming this. So I have a long way to go, but I think it'd be really cool to have a YouTube plaque somewhere here on my wall. I don't know about this wall, maybe a different wall, but it'd be really cool. And that is a very big number to achieve in a short amount of time. A year is a long time, but to me, it's like 100,000 in a year, that's a lot. The second thing that I want to accomplish is I want to have collectively 200,000 followers between Instagram and TikTok. And part of me thinks that it's going to be mostly Instagram, because TikTok, I think I'm at like 800 some followers, but on Instagram at 32,500 followers. So I'm pretty sure 99% of that is going to come from Instagram. I just find a lot more success on Instagram than I do on TikTok. The third one is a monetary goal. Now, when I talk about monetary goal, there's a lot of things that can go into this. It can be me making money off of doing photo shoots. It can be me making money off of brand deals, sponsorships, whatever. It doesn't specifically say what I want to make my money from within the social media world. It just says I want to make it from my content creation and social media. So there's a lot of things that can feed into this. I want to make $60,000 in gross revenue through content creation and social media. $60,000 is a very large number. It's not going to replace my job, but it's definitely something that can really help me in investing in my future, in my family's future. Am I going to achieve that income goal? Probably not. If I were to be super realistic at this current rate, probably not. But I've also surprised myself in the past. So you never know. It's just up for chance. How am I going to achieve these goals? They seem crazy, wild, outlandish, unattainable, whatever you want to call it. But the way that I'm going to do my best to achieve these goals is I'm going to post 730 pieces of content to Instagram and TikTok. That's 365 days, 2 times a day. That's how much I'm going to post to Instagram and TikTok. I am then going to post 365 pieces of short form content here to YouTube. So literally everything I film for Instagram and TikTok is also going on YouTube. So what you see on YouTube Shorts is nothing different than what you see on Instagram or TikTok. It's the same exact video on 3 different platforms. That's very easy because step 1 is posting 730 pieces of content to these 2 platforms. Step 2 is automatically accomplished because I'm already posting to those other platforms. So those 2 are very easy. The third one is I want to post 50 videos, long form videos to YouTube. This is video number 1. You're watching the beginning of this challenge. Now, I did 50 instead of 52 because 1, I don't really know why. Like I could have easily just said 52, but I think I wanted to give myself 2 weeks of grace in case I wanted to take a week off here and there to avoid burnout. I did post 4 videos in late 2023 and I was like, oh, well, I can count that towards, you know, the 50 or whatever. I'm like, no, this is for year 2024, not 2023. But I'm gonna try to do 1 video a week and I haven't quite figured out when I wanna release it. I'm thinking on Fridays because it kind of ties into another thing that I want to do, which I'll get to that after this last piece, which is I'm going to release 20 assets to my online store. 20 assets might be a bit much. When I wrote this, it was again back in October. It was before I learned a few things, but I have currently 1 digital asset available, which is my preset pack. It's my version 1, and it'll be in the description below if you're interested in looking at it. That's 1 piece of asset. There's other pieces of assets that I have in the pipeline that are going to be digital, but this also includes prints. Like this hoodie, for instance, is a printed asset that I have. I'm the only one that owns this. It just says, good luck, have fun, which is something I say a lot. And then on the back is my logo. Nobody else has it, it's just me. I'm still trying to find out where I want to put my physical store, like physical print store, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. But that 20 pieces of asset can be digital or print. That's kind of the way I'm approaching it. The last thing that I added in late is I want to add 10,000 subscribers to a newsletter. And this newsletter is something that's new. I wasn't thinking about this back in October. It's actually very recent. And it's going to essentially be a weekly newsletter where I just talk kind of like this, where it's just off the cuff, no script, no nothing crazy. It's just me talking about what's going on in my week. It could be professional related, it could be personal related, it could be creative related. I think it'd be really cool to have like a behind the scenes to the behind the scenes videos that I do. And I'm going to call it Friday. Friday is a phrase I love to say when it's Friday as a 9-to-5 worker. It's something that's supposed to be like super fun and exciting, like, oh my gosh, it's the weekend, Friday. So it's going to be a newsletter that I send out every single Friday, and it's just going to be me talking about random things. If that's something that you're interested in, I will have a link in the description below where you can sign up for it. So this video has been going on for quite some time, and I know that I've probably lost 99.9% of the viewership, but I'm going to read off a letter I wrote to myself. And this letter was written on October 13th of 2023. And I love this because I like to talk to myself in third person. It says, "Future Joe, you had a shit week this week. You're tired, stressed, anxious, and wondering what the hell you're going to do to get out of this current funk. Your content lately has not yielded the results you wanted and you feel like you're failing. Right now it's 9:27 a.m. on a work day and you'd rather be editing. You have your first baby on the way and all you can do is do what's right for your family. This, however, does not mean you should give up on your goals. You have 3,897 Instagram followers, which is up from 390 when you started on August 15th. You have 575 TikTok followers and 323 YouTube subscribers. More and more people are discovering you every single day. It may not seem like it right now, but you're doing just fine. At the end of the day, you're doing this for you and your family. Wherever you are right now as you read this, I want you to know that I am proud of you. Sincerely, Past Joe. It was a rough month. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It really sucked. My wife was extremely ill. My job was on the line. My creative life was suffering its first really deep, valley. I wasn't doing very well. And I felt powerless in every single aspect of my life. A couple weeks later, a lot of things have changed in a short amount of time. Now, everything is better. Family's healthy, my wife's healthy, I'm back at work. I still have my job, I still have my livelihood, we still have our home, everything's fine. Garage is completed, everything has settled. Now that 2023 has come and gone, now we can focus on 2024 and beyond. So I hope that this video helps in some way or another. Again, this is mostly just kind of for my own vlogging purpose, that I want to be very open and transparent about what it is that I had to go through to get to where I am right now. But then it's also supposed to help for future me, because like I did with that letter, I wrote to myself to let myself know, you're doing just fine. And this video is gonna serve as that purpose. I'm so happy of where I am now and what I've accomplished. So that's it. This is video number 1 of 2024. And I'm hoping to have another one next week. I don't quite know what it is I'm gonna do yet, but if you have any ideas and you wanna put them down in the comments below, I would greatly appreciate it. If there's any sort of content that you wanna see out of me, just let me know, because I have absolutely no idea what it is I'm gonna film next, but we'll find out. Thank you so much again for watching my video. I'll see you next time.